Hello everyone and welcome to the season opener of BBB Season 3, our lovely little F1 League that we've been running here. I'm so excited for this first race in Bahrain. With me, we've got the lovely Liam, last year's champion, ready to go. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming. It feels like the game has been out ages since we wanted to kick this thing off. And finally, that time has come and we can get going. We've got 20 drivers full-time, ready for the grid, ready for the championship. And they're about to go racing at round 1 at Bahrain this evening.
I can't wait for it. We obviously, if you guys didn't see it, we did 3 rounds of qualifiers to get here. Because obviously we're just getting to a stage now where we just need to make sure the quality is up there, and we've got so many people wanting to join. So do check out the Discord. Should be links around, and come join our lovely little community. But all of those qualifiers are done. The seats have been decided. Everyone's raring to go, and this is where the points come in. This is where it all really matters. And after speaking with a lot of the guys today, I know there's a few trembly hands out there. The nerves are starting to get there a little bit as we go into this season opener. I think jumping the gun maybe a little bit. I think there's a couple of teams to look out for. We did have a chat with them earlier, and we'll play that shortly. But Aston Martin, last year's constructors champions. They're probably the ones to look out for. But apart from that, a lot of strong drivers out there. Liam, have you got, dare we do a very early prediction?
I think we should, I think we should.
Yeah?
Do you want to, have you got a pen lying around?
A pen? I do.
Have you got an envelope as well?
Yeah, and a little bit of paper.
That's how convenient. How about, do you want to write it down?
I actually don't have an envelope.
You don't have an envelope? Okay.
I have the mystery F1 box.
Okay, I have a huge envelope.
This is the F1 box.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. So you've made up for me not having one by having the biggest envelope I've ever seen.
Having like 3 envelopes all in one. So what I'm suggesting is, I'm gonna make a prediction now. You make a prediction now. We're gonna seal it away, and then by the end of the season, we're gonna open back up and see how true our predictions were.
Yeah, I think so. I think let's do it. I'm gonna pop mine in.
Me too.
Cool. It's going in.
You were saying, because I wanted to pry out of you what your choice was, and you said you're going for.
See, yeah, I'm not. Obviously, I can't now reveal, but mine's a bit of a wild card. I think the whole season is likely going to be a little bit of a wild card season. We have loads of new drivers here, unproven in the race. Over a season racing, very, very different. I haven't gone for a brand new driver. I'll give that much, but maybe
that's
not.
That's been a lot of way. We've had a lot of new talent join the ranks for this season. So
yeah, but yeah, I think going into this opener, we did catch up with some of the guys. Don't know if it's worth playing those now. We spoke to Alex, who was our grand leader, the season champion of last year. Managed to beat Alex by a single point.
I know.
Which I feel like we're going to keep saying over and over again. Yeah, a single point over a full season is ridiculous. But we caught up with him, and we also caught up with Logan, who is my old teammate and dear friend. To see how they're getting on, how the break was, and how Logan managing without me.
So yeah, we've got Logan lined up first, and yeah, this is what he had to say earlier.
So first up, we have my old teammate, my dear friend Logan. I wanted to catch up with you before the race because I know that you're a bit of a Bahrain specialist, and going into the first race of the season on a track that you enjoy, is that extra pressure, or is that something that you think is going to help you tonight?
Well, I think it's extra pressure, to be honest with you. It kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Historically, a track that I'm pretty good at. Practice has been a little bit rough so far, but we'll get there.
Yeah, because I think this should, if all things go well, can you see yourself aiming for that top spot, top 3? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm on the podium at least. Tadpole's quick, Janet's quick, Bakes doesn't have quite in him tonight, I don't think. But there's a couple of guys that'll be up there ahead of me.
I did wonder how long it would take before we got the inter-team rivalries going on, and I think we did maybe think you and Bakes would be one of those. I know you guys are just practicing just now. How have you found him compared to last season racing against him? Have you noticed any improvements, any changes?
Yeah, his racecraft's a lot better. He's always been quick. He's shown that from like a few races into the league. Bix has always been quick. As soon as he got to grips with it, but yeah, his racecraft's better. You can do a few laps alongside him without any crashing into each other.
I wouldn't have any experience of that at all. As a commentator, I've never come too close to Bakes around Bahrain in the first corner, sticking too close to the wall. It's never happened.
Never.
So the old guys. You've got Bakes, obviously one of your main rivals. For the new guys, I did want to say, how have you found that? Because you've been in the league since the start. How have you found the new guys coming in? Is there anyone to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, there's a couple. Tadpole's really quick. I'd keep an eye on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on pole today. Another one is someone who's been in the league for a little while. I think you guys touched on it a lot during pre-qualifiers, but Harrison has really picked things up as well. So I expect he'll be on pace. Hegel, Thomas Hunter, he'll be quick as well. Joined halfway through last season or towards the end of last season. But yeah, there are a few people there. Tadpole's really the standout of the new guys.
Cool. And last one, just before we let you go and get on your practice, how has it been losing me as a teammate and gaining someone like Sniper? How's that been?
Heartbreaking, to be honest with you. I mean, Sniper's really good. He's we gel well together. He's quick. He can keep his car on track.
I was going to say
a little bit more than you could say.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously rooting for you, and it's nice that you've got a teammate now that you might be able to fight for that championship with. So good luck tonight. Just don't bin it, and you'll be great, mate. Nice one.
Thank you.
Cheers.
There you go. That was your interview with Logan. Hopefully offered a great insight into what he thinks of the season.
I miss being in voice chats with that man every week and just listening to him rage out. Honestly, if we could have that coming through onto the stream, we'd be banned so fast. He's a very, very angry dude, but a great friend and a wicked driver. And actually, yeah, I think with his new teammate replacing me, potentially another championship contender, that team. Ferrari looking very, very strong this season. But I do think that our main championship contenders are going to be Aston Martin. And I don't know if we're ready for that one, but I think I spoke to Alex earlier about what it was like to lose the championship by a single point, which is brutal.
Yes, and I will show you that interview now.
So Alex, thank you for doing our first pre-race interviews. I think I just wanted to bring you in so like anyone watching or that can get to see some of our elite drivers. We spoke to Logan. That's fine. You know, we can meet the funny guys. But obviously you were the main title contender fighting Liam last year, and it came down to a single point in Abu Dhabi. Lots of controversy. So I guess firstly, how have you recovered over the break from that devastating loss? And what's that set going forward now? Now he's gone? Are you thinking this is your championship?
No, it's not as simple as that. As in, Liam rates you very closely, and he fought hard over the past 2 seasons. Of course, it's been my championship rival, so therefore, seeing him depart was a sad moment. I'd say for me, because his consistency alongside my own is in it really pulled through the entire season, which meant, of course, when I did lose that championship by a point, it was a little bit painful at the end of that race. I may have won the race, but 23 race season to miss out by such a slither, as in you start thinking about moments in some of the previous races which are like really silly errors, or you could have improved on that. So, and moving into the new season, it's about doing, let's say, more of the same. Performing every week. As in I don't mind about not being the fastest member every week, but as long as I pick up the points consistently, as in I can get myself into that hunt. And of course, I'm very curious to see what these new drivers do with that, because obviously you mentioned Logan before, and Logan is an incredibly quick driver, but not always the most consistent. But some of these new characters, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it seems like some have come out of the gate really, really hot with the time trial times. But I think it was top 300. One of the times has been posted up there, which is pretty crazy, like a second off esports pace. But I don't, as you say, I think what you were really brought last season and the season before is that consistency. Obviously, you won the constructors championship last season, which was great with Mark. Are you giving him any kind of training, any advice to like bring him up to that level?
Well, Mark is a very quick driver and very competent. And I'm going to sound like HR now, but no, he has all the abilities he needs to succeed, and he's only on an upward trajectory. He got his first race win last season, picked up multiple podiums, and yeah, in most races he has a top 3, top 4 pace, and I imagine that's going to continue into this new season. So I'm imagining more of a fight in terms of the championship, in terms of points with Mark. And of course, towards the end of last season, there were some team orders in play, which at some point I'm going to try and pay back Mark for his kindness, especially towards the end of the season when I was trying to drag back Liam's points deficit. But of course, into this new season, that's not the case. There won't be any team orders in races unless it's really clear and obvious either way that there needs to be a swap. But other than that, then we'll be racing.
Cool. I mean, that's obviously good to hear. And then I think last one before we send you off to get your practice. If it's not yourself, who's going to be winning the race tonight?
Win the race tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Logan because yes, and I have faith. He loves this track. I know that very much. He won in season 1, I want to say. I can't remember who won in season 2, but maybe him again. And yeah, he has good form around here and good pace. And yes, he can be a bit error prone sometimes, but he says a lot of these things and then you go on and win the race. So yeah, I say
cool.
Logan.
Cool, nice one. I think if we put as much pressure on Logan as possible, that's going to help him not crash, I'm sure.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Alex. Good luck tonight. We'll be watching.
All right.
Hello, and we're back.
Got to be the driver of the season there that we should be looking at to take this title. Now the mighty Liam has left the arena.
Surely easy pickings.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think it is actually that easy pickings. I think it was so good. Your guys' consistency, as you were saying, was the thing that kept that battle so interesting. And I do think that he is one of the only drivers on the grid that has proven that consistency. So I think that's the biggest advantage, rather than maybe raw pace. But speaking of raw pace, Liam, we've got some cars on tracks. We've got some race cars going around tracks.
Let's go down to
virtual race cars
qualifying.
going around virtual tracks in the quali. So let's have a look. So obviously they've all just these are the first runs coming out now. You've got to say hot for this particular race for me is going to be Logan. Going to be Logan Watt. He's probably the favourite for this track if he can keep it together. Apart from that, I think Alex and Harrison would be my top 3. I'm not sure about yourself. How you feeling?
I've got a prediction. I think we've got Tadpole on pole. Then we've got Hegel Fireplays in second. And then I think we've got Logan in third. I think from that, I actually genuinely have no idea from third onwards, but they're my top 3 predictions.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll have a look. These guys have been absolutely obliterating the time trial leaderboards in this to try and get those big times. I think when all the dust settled, Tadpole came out on top with a 27.8, I think it was, which is about a second off Blakely's time, which is pretty unreal.
Incredible esports pace. Right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just whether or not they can make that happen in the when it matters now, really, in qualifying. But with the first laps done, it does look like we've got Sniper, Tadpole, and Watt up at the top with some strong times. A few people obviously gone out and set some not very competitive times. Looking at Hegel's 32.2 there, that's got to be some sort of issue, because he's definitely going to be someone that will be wanting to get pole here for sure.
Than that. So one thing I did want to say is that we have got Sniper at the top, and he's someone who is a bit of a dark horse. We've not really spoken much about him. He was my teammate last season, and he was an incredible teammate. He was always there or thereabouts when racing with him, and he was a star when it came to like defending and keeping Alex behind. Kind of a great match for Bakes in that respect. But like now he's newly paired with Logan. How do you think that dynamic's going to work for the season?
Yeah, I think I think it could be an interesting one. I think me and Logan, even though I didn't perform super well, but I think one of the things that we did do well was support each other. I know that Logan can tend to, if things don't go well, sometimes actually I spoke to him. He thinks that he's totally sorted this out now, but sometimes he tends to think that's where he kind of loses it. But it was a lot of communication in our pre-race, a lot of communication throughout qualifying, of just supporting each other and bigging each other up. So I hope Logan can take that through, and do that with Sniper, because I think it was great for him. But I don't know if Sniper's going to be doing that to him. Is that what you experienced with Sniper?
So I think the things I could experience was that he was like a really chill guy to have. So you're saying about Logan becoming quite not handling certain situations. I think the right person to have next to you is Sniper or Jason, because he is just like he's cool as a cucumber, and also he's one of those people as well that if he has a bad race or if he doesn't finish, he will happily sit and be your race engineer for the rest of the race, and he did that countless times for me. So yeah, he's one to watch on pace, one to watch on just being an overall great guy. A bit of Red Bull love coming out here actually. Old teammate. I wish I was racing. But no, he is a really good guy to have next to you.
Don't quite have that the same emotional disconnect from not leading Logan. Logan would quit a lot of the races if he crashed. I was on my own. I say all that about the supporting, but if he crashed out, he was done. Just have a look back here. 28.9, first one into the 28s for Sniper, and Hegel and Tadpole with some very, very close times there. So yeah, definitely looking competitive at this top end. I don't think we'll see it go down to the 27s, but I think low 28s is probably what's going to be the pole. Maybe like a 28.3 if the track warms up a little bit. Jinnit's still to set a time as well. I noticed down there.
So what I was going to ask is, you've been around for practice. What's the vibe we're getting for pole position times? Is it a low 28?
I think it's around low 28. I think that's what we should be looking at. I think that it depends if the track conditions are any different now. But I would be looking for that to come down a little bit, maybe a couple tenths, before we start seeing real.
You think that's going to come down a little bit?
I think it might come down a bit.
Talking of league racing, I always thought whatever my best time is, add a few tenths on, because the nerves really got to me in a qualifying session. I would never be able to deliver the fastest time I'd done in any practice session.
Okay. Interesting then. Well, I think from where they are now, I think that we should just see some track improvement. Okay. So hopefully those will come down. Okay. I'd be surprised if this is where we end.
Just also, this does bring us on to what we were speaking about earlier with pre-race rituals, and you had a very I
don't know if I want to discuss that pre-race ritual with you on this stream, Liam.
I'm sure you do. You were talking about it a lot earlier, so I think you should.
I get a bit before any big commentary thing. I used to do weekly, and I just get a bit of a nervous belly before every race, and I just need to sit.
That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
Just
I'm sure the imagination can.
Yeah, just a little bit of a wobbly belly. Weird thing to bring up on stream for the first race of the season. So, chat, keep an eye out for more stories about Will's dicky belly as we go on. But might be the last one.
You might even hear about more than just his belly if you're here for long enough. So
I don't want to. These promises are not. These are not things I were in my contract when I agreed to commentate this season. That I would be.
You got a contract? What?
Yeah, mate. I'm getting paid.
What?
Getting paid for this. Yeah, 100%.
Can't believe this. I need to speak to the admin of
your league.
I need to speak to someone who's in charge. But anyway, back down onto the action. I've got Logan, who is on a lap, and we actually saw a minute ago him doing some very, very, very radical tyre warm-ups. I thought he was going to take a car out at one point, going down the back straight, but he looks like I believe he's on a lap. That's what the timing is telling us. But he looks like he's ran into traffic. Hopefully, this doesn't hamper him too much.
I think this is a banging lap time. Oh, yeah. I think Pengoy actually just set purple middle sector, so it's a shame that he couldn't convert that.
Yes,
into anything.
that was his
There we
fact.
go.
28.7 for Logan.
This is that's a more representative pole time, I think.
That rapid warm-up has clearly worked, and it means we've got a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment on the front row of the grid.
Yeah, I think maybe... Oh, Tadpole with 28.5. Okay, here we go. I think maybe worth riding on board with Hegel because he's just done his warm-up.
He is on his outlap at the moment.
He's about to go for a lap.
He's going to ride on board with Josh in the Mercedes at the moment, who is currently on a lap.
Right, we'll see if Josh is going to get blocked or not. No, I think he's good there. Yeah, I think the one thing that's been catching everyone out is that middle sector with these new tyres.
When he comes into the pits. But okay, we're riding on board now with Thomas Hunter. Would you like to give us a rundown of this lap?
Yeah, well, I think I know that Hegel or Thomas suffers with the corkscrew section coming up now, so he's coming through currently. He needs to just get that slowed down a straight line, higher gears than he's usually using there. Which is good to see. I think he was running in quite low gears. This is obviously that really tricky corkscrew section, just trying to run it out wide, try and break as much in a straight line as you possibly can, hook it around, come through. Looked pretty clean there. Actually kept quite a lot of momentum and is going to be getting good traction out of there as we head up onto this next section. It's just a couple of shifts down to fourth, and then just sticking it through. And then obviously everyone who's played this game knows about this curb on the inside. Cannot touch it. It will absolutely end your race. As he sets 106 in the middle sector. That's half a second up on his previous time. So it is looking on track for maybe set P2 with this lap. If he can nail this final sector, swing that round. All looks pretty good. I would have liked to have seen a bit of an earlier upshift, but we'll see if that's going to be enough as he comes to the line. It is going to be tight. It's going to be a 28.579. I wasn't joking when I said it was going to be tight. A thousandth off. Absolutely cracking lap there from Hegel, and as we see now, this is pretty much where I think we're going to be seeing these pole times come in. Logan has got to pull out something pretty special, which he has been known to do when the pressure comes to it.
Riding on board as well, who we actually saw win the first qualifier, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we saw Brian in a Red Bull, who is currently in sixth, and he's currently on a lap. Let's see what he can do to pull out the bag. He's surely got pace for this race as well.
Yeah, a lot of people were really bigging up Brian for this one, for a potential win. And he did do great in the preseason qualifiers. I'm noticing a lot lower gear coming through that section. We'll see how he does when he comes through to sector 2. This is all looking nice and tidy. Another early upshift. I think that's really the key for me anyway, finding pace on this track, because this is actually a track where I have pace. Thank you. He doesn't look like this is going to be anything special from Brian. He's about second down
as well. I don't think he was really using DRS down the straight either. So whether it's just another warm-up lap,
I think he might be coming into the pits potentially because he's won this one. But yeah, we must be coming close to the end of quali now.
We're going to...
So many yellow flags. There we go. 3 minutes. It's hard to see how much time we've got left. So we've got Watts on an outlap and Sniper. So these will be potentially our final times.
Anyone who's going out now, surely, yeah, I would say. But then why would you want the extra fuel in the car? It's surely weighing you down for your lap.
But it's that nerves, right? It's knowing that you could make a little bit of a mistake and making sure that you have just a little bit in the tank to make sure you can get that second lap in. But
and different to last year's as well, with the Formula 1 season and the game, is you would have to start the race on the tyres you qualified on, which is something we don't have, right? So I guess you can take a few more liberties with the tyres, maybe run one more lap to, like you say, get the best lap time from the car.
Yeah, definitely. I think really interesting to see how that new tyre strategy thing is going to play into the season. I think it's for the best.
And we are currently, just to interrupt, really sorry, we are now currently riding on board with Sniper for his lap. So we saw him on the front row earlier. Do you reckon we'll see him on the front row when he finishes this lap?
It's not looking good at the moment. He was a 10th down on his own time in the first sector. So unless he has an absolutely cracking middle sector and final sector, I don't think it's going to be enough from him. Logan is getting ready for his. But yeah, Sniper, I think this all looks fairly clean, but I don't know if it's going to be enough at the moment as he is approaching some traffic now. I hope he's got enough in him for a second run, because as we come through this big sweeping corners, tab pole, I think no, it's just the same time. That's just keeping that pole as he comes through the second sector. He's managed to gain a tenth on himself. He's down to 0.5 thousandths away from his previous time, but obviously that's not going to be quite enough, I don't think. And I can just see his ERS on his wheel is going down, so he won't be able to go for another lap. I wonder if he just dives into the pits now instead. No, he is going to run this through. See how he does.
Doesn't improve.
No, doesn't improve. Logan is 9 thousandths off his previous time in Sector 1, so potentially improvement there. Bakes, I feel like, must have a bit more in him as well. I think that's maybe not the most competitive time from him. But right now, you've got to say, Hegel and Tadpole are kind of in a bit of a different league there.
They've got Paul. I mean, it's only a tenth, but it is quite the margin, really. You got those two in a league of their own, which we had a little like preparation race last weekend, and it was just those two at Silverstone pumping better laps one after the other from each of them. And I wonder if we'll see more of the same for this evening in the race as well.
I think we probably will. And Logan, I've just been following his lap. He's 3 thousandths off his previous time at the moment. He is nearly exactly matching what he did last time. He does have a little bit of a jump to get up to these guys, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it on this one. So probably third is the best he can hope for at the moment, as he does improve. He is close, but it is still going to be P3. Not going to be able to go for another one. So Tadpole, Hegel, and what looking likely at the moment, unless anyone can do anything about it. We've got Alex setting a personal best in the first sector. Trying to see if there's anyone out here who's.
We've got Bakes. He's on a lap in the second sector. I don't know what his time's looking like, but he's coming down the back straight now. DRS fully wide open. He looks like he's on a flyer.
Well, let's have a look when he comes through this this sector gate. He needs half a second to get onto pole, so I think that's going to be a big ask. He is 2 tenths down on his previous time, which would be enough to jump him over Sniper as quarterback comes through with a 28.9. Really strong lap time there to secure P5 for the moment. Obviously, loads of cars still left to come over the grid as we see Bates needs to absolutely nail this final corner. What can he do from here? I think this might jump him above Sniper if he gets a solid run. And he does do it. It does. P4 for Bakes. That is a spicy front row at the moment. Second row, rather, with Logan and Bakes lining up side by side. We've got Brian coming through. He's also improving. Everyone seems to be improving now with the track conditions getting a little bit better.
But who we did see improve, but only to 9th, is Alex Stopp, our former world champion and run-up from last season.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shock, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, and Tadpole.
I thought he would do a lot better than that, but it does look like Hegel's coming on a lap now. Can't see. Oh, and he does! 28.4! Oh, and they both improve. But Hegel, again, it's a few thousandths different between him and Tadpole, but that's all that matters. And he is going to be the snatching pole position at the last.
Literally by the tiniest of margins. When I saw Tadpole improve, I obviously thought there's no one beating that. And then Hegel Fire Plays comes along and pulls a time that's 400ths faster than Tadpole. Wow. I mean, I'm absolutely over the moon for Hegel Plays, but I'm a little bit upset because my top 3 prediction was Tadpole, Hegel Plays, then Logan, and it has just
I mean,
upset my top 3 prediction.
No, let's just do a quick rundown of the rest of the grid. Obviously, you've got Logan, Mark there, and Sniper, quarterback. Brian Venus doing really, really well in P8. Unfortunately, that has just gone for me, but I think that's a very competitive qualifying. I mean, the top 2 there, that's very, very, very tight margins. Really good from Hegel to secure that. He is rapid. The only problem is now both of these guys are the guys that maybe have some issues with reliability throughout the full race, consistency. Logan, I'd put him right there with it, just behind. The one to watch will be this Watt Bakes Horse battle, because there's no love lost between the two of them on track. Very, very aggressive drivers, and obviously it's all coming down to play for now. So, I mean, with that, I think Hegel is probably in a good opportunity here to just get a good start, get away, and keep his head down. I haven't seen him make too many unforced errors. It's usually when he's in a battle it gets a bit messy. But I think Hegel should be able to run away with this. Liam, predictions. Who do you think's got this?
I have no idea. I think we're in for a real treat. We had, not only was it Hegglefire Plays and Tadpole that were within hundredths, we had, like you say, we had Sniper, Logan, and Bakes that were all huge, like hugely close, like within a tenth. So I think we're going to see battles all the way down the grid. But like you say, I think reliability is going to come into it. Like, we've had a lot of people spinning. We've had a lot of people not being able to finish races. There's damage now that's going to be a factor. The safety cars, strategy is going to play a huge part in this race. Like, it doesn't matter about your pace. What if you've got the right strategy to win this race? So I honestly, I can't quite call it. I think my money would be on Tadpole. He's putting a lot of hours, but I'm going to leave this down to you as we're about to start the race.
We're about to start the race, and I did just see Sniper leaving the session, unfortunately, which is an absolute nightmare. But the lights are on. I'm waiting for them now. The lights are off. The race is on. Very slow getaway from a lot of people. They're actually seeing two starts infringements going there, so penalties straight away. Looks like Hegel has managed to get a good run, but what has come from nowhere? Oh, big crash in the background. That is Pengoy out straight away on turn one. And actual disaster there. Logan, miles off the track, is managing to come up through. This is quite messy, as we see Hegglefire is now going to take the place back. And I think that's a safety car straight away. Wow, that was a quick bit of chaos at the start there. Lots of penalties coming out across the board from false starts. Big crash taking out Penguin straight away. And Logan managing to find himself up in P2.
I have no idea really what happened. So first goal, there was so much to look at. I saw an Alfa Romeo turning, and then I saw McLaren that was like drifting around turn one. And then I couldn't really make out which McLaren it was, and then realised it was Hegglefire Plays that was one that was higher up the grid. But also, one thing we didn't mention is Jinnit with incredible pace. Qualify, he's now at the back. I don't know if that was a strategy choice. We'd often see him last season take, unorthodox strategy choices, and maybe we're going to see it again this season. We've had a safety car already. I wasn't expecting that. Were you?
No, I mean, I won't lie that there was a little part of me that thought this might get a little bit messy on turn one. Didn't think it would be quite that messy. But that is a bit of a shock, really.
The amount of jump starts as well.
Yeah. So I'll just do a quick rundown of the penalties that we've got here. We've got Tadpole on a 5 seconds. Quarterback's already on 10 seconds worth of penalties. Venus has a drive-through, so that would be his jump start. We've got Harrison, P6, but he also has a 5-second penalty. And Brian will also have a 5-second penalty. And then the only other jump start was Moon in P10, who has a drive-through. So those 5-second penalties, I believe, get served in the pits, potentially, unless they were for corner cutting. But if they were for corner cutting, we have a lovely admin stewarding team here, and sometimes if penalties are applied unfairly, we can get them removed. So just worth bearing in mind that, because I think that was a very, very messy start. Yeah, but wow, I mean, just calming it down, getting back into the race now, a long way to go. We are seeing some pit stops being made, so some early strategy calls potentially, as I think KSE is jumping onto the hard tyres, Jinnit staying with the mediums now, and I think Brian also onto the hard tyres. So we do have some runners here who look like they're going to be trying to go the full race distance on the hards. I'm not entirely sure how that works, if that's going to pay off, but taking that free pit stop as it is being offered to them.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure either. I think the hards are quite slow, but like you say, they're probably not going to need to pit to the end of the race. Unless we have another safety car, right? That could play into their hands. But I think, interestingly, from our point of view and watching this race, and for future broadcasts, we need some kind of instant replay feature going in, because I want to have a look at what happened there. And quite frankly, looking back now, I actually have no idea. We can only speculate. Or maybe if I don't know if who got taken out. I think it was Pengoy. If you want to join, we can get you in the broadcast. We can interview you to find out what happened from your point of view.
I'm sure that'll be a nice, non-biased, calm interview if we bring the driver taken out on that one to discuss. But if you are up for that, Pengoy, let us know.
Well, I need to know what happened. I want to know what happened at the start there.
We've got Leon in the chat saying that he thinks Moon pushed Panoy off a bit. So I mean, we'll see that later. Obviously, one of the things we do on this is all of our drivers record the race. We do through replays, and then we can submit stuff. So yeah, we'll find out, but we might have to come back next week, and we can do a kind of Sky panel breakdown of exactly what happened to find out. But unfortunately, that has happened. It's over, and now we're in this quite different race to what was 3 laps ago. Hegel managing to keep that lead, which is great. Watt has managed to sneak in there, and that will be a bit of a furious battle to keep an eye on. Tadpole with those penalties. I mean, I hope it was something that we can look at and remove it. You hate to see penalties given in these games because sometimes it can be a bit iffy. But Venus, I think, another big winner, up to P5. Really lovely to see him up there doing so well. I'd like to see what he can do from there. I'm trying to think anything else happening down here that's maybe a bit surprising. Jinnit, as you say, on the new mediums. I think he's probably the one to watch. Those mediums now, I think he'll. I don't know. You can't surely get those to the end of the race, right?
The mediums definitely not. I think drivers like that are banking on another safety car or just strategy, right? Because you're brought back into the back of the field. If you're on better tyres, did you mention Jinnit as well in that?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
I mean, we've seen him like soar through the field on countless occasions, so I'm sure we're about to see it again, really. But yeah, I think. Do you remember what tyres he started on? Like, has he got his cycle of tyres out already? Like, if he started on softs and he's now on mediums, he can use whatever he wants to the end?
I think he might have started on the mediums.
Because what we saw with Ferrari in the Hungaroring, right, is they started on the mediums, so they shot themselves in the foot with what tyres they could go on next. So he might have given himself some freedom here. But we're about to restart the race, so I'll hand over to you and what Hegel Fire players will probably do on the restart.
So, important restart for Hegel. This is he's got Logan in his mirrors. Is he gone already? No. I thought he went for a second there. Logan famously crashing under safety car restarts, which is something you must avoid. But he needs to get a good jump on Logan. He'll probably go very late. What tends to happen here? Yeah, braking on the edge of the corner there, just backing up the pack a little bit. And I think he's away now. I think Tadpole's got a fantastic run on Logan here, coming down into the first corner. Definitely doesn't look like Hegel's going to be the one making a move. It really needs to be Tadpole doing something here. Logan diving to the inside. Tadpole looking to go around the outside. Logan getting a fantastic dive down there, actually keeping it on the track as well. Hegel, is he going to be able to come back at him now? Oh, he's just on the outside. They're giving each other enough room. This is absolutely tight racing at the top here. Tadpole just sitting in the back now. Logan managing to get through. Probably not going to have a chance to go back at him now through this section. So Logan managing to make the most of that restart there, which I actually thought looked a pretty clean restart from Hegel, but Logan managing to get it done. So Logan from P3 on the grid up to the lead for the moment, and now he just needs to keep his cool, keep those nerves down, and drive away with this. As I think we're seeing in the back of the grid, I think Sniper losing places there. Hopefully he hasn't got too much damage. I think he has lost the front end plate slightly, but yeah, I mean classic good restart there from Logan, and now just needs to keep Hegel at bay until the next set of pit stops.
Yeah, so it's mixed fortunes for the Ferraris. We see one going forwards and another one going backwards, unfortunately. And we saw as well on a quick breakdown in the safety car period of who won and who lost in the safety car. Like you said, we saw, actually Venus is now at the back. Oh, as we've seen Alfa Romeo spin. Harrison.
That is not what you want to see. Harrison, luckily, getting it kind of back under control pretty quickly. A little bit of a dodgy rejoin there, but I think nothing too bad happening. And now he's going to have to fight George Russell down the straight, obviously Josh. Is he going to try and keep it around the inside? He actually is sticking it around the inside. Going to be a little drag race down to T1 now. Obviously, a bit of a tyre difference between these two. Should play into Harrison's favour. He's going to get a little bit more traction as he runs down the straight. Is he going to go for the big lunge down the inside? No, he doesn't actually. George much later on the brakes on him there. And that battle is pretty much over. No DRS just yet, I don't think, after the restart. No. So going to have to get it done all on his own. Does look for a move on the inside, but nothing toward there. So pretty close battle there, but it's a shame for Harrison to have that spin, because again, someone who definitely could be a race winner here. And I guess speaking of race winners, Logan already pushed that second gap away from Hegel. We've seen him do this so many times, get that lead, bring that second gap, and then lose it. And I think he might have had an incident, because he's suddenly nowhere near a second, down to 4/10 now at the front. So he will have to be defending from Hegelfire on the next set of straights here. I don't know if he's got an issue or something. He seems to be going quite slowly. He's lost nearly a second in the last few corners. We'll have to see what Hegel can do here. Logan pulling away to try and break that slipstream. It's going to be hard. Luckily, he doesn't have DRS to worry about for the moment. But let's see if we're going to see another move into turn 1. I love Bahrain, because once you get that on the inside in turn 1, the whole next section you can be side by side. He will have DRS in the next section, will Hegelfire. So let's see if he just holds for now and waits for the DRS assistance. Yeah, no lunge down the inside for the moment. Keeping it tidy. He needs to just get a solid exit through here and then chase him down. It looks like Logan actually got a fantastic exit through there. DRS is going to come out, as does Tadpole, who also receives DRS assistance, but nothing happening there. Good section there from Logan. That was really important, I think, for this race, because now Hegelfire is going to have Tadpole right on his back. Won't just be able to focus on Logan.
Also, just to go away from this battle, we've got both Aston Martins almost pushing one of the Alpine reserve drivers into turn 4. What would you say to the Aston Martin 6th and the 7th? That's surely what we were not expecting that for round 1.
No, definitely not. It's not where they want to be for the championship favourites, really. And I notice it is Alex sitting behind Mark right now. We heard in that interview, obviously, there's no team orders. Bakesauce is an absolutely rapid driver and has every right to be fighting for all the points he can. But something needs to give right now, because they are stuck behind Quivlex, and they are going to start losing time to this leading pack if they don't catch up to them soon. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure we won't see team orders, but I think we will see some Aston Martins overtaking at the end of this straight, as we also see now Sniper joining the back of this pack. This could get pretty spicy. I'm
really sorry to quit him, Will, but we are going to have a battle for the lead. Jump to the front as before they even reach turn 1. Hegelfire plays is ahead of Logan.
Oh, I think there was contact. I think there was a little bit of a shove there from Logan. I did wonder how he's going to get that shot down. What a move from Tadpole around the outside of Logan. He's also going to have DRS here. He's going to surely take the lead from this. Round the outside of one, up the inside of the other, into the lead going into after the first sector. Fantastic move from Tadpole there. Really claiming his stake on this race and on this season, really, as a newcomer, showing the old guys how it's done. And now this changes everything. Now Logan is going to have to be fighting Hegelfire. We've also got Quarterback joining this leading pack. This is a 4-way battle for the lead at the moment. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But Logan, it all fell apart in an instant. But this is nowhere near done. This is going to go right down to the wire. I think there's already looking like this DRS assistance going to be helping Hegelfire. Tadpole takes a defensive line. Yeah, Hegelfire's not going to go for that one. But take a breath. Take a moment, because I think once we get back onto that main straight, we're going to see it all over again.
Four cars in a battle for the lead. I was not expecting this on round 1, and I didn't know who to put my predictions on for teams, because at one point we saw both Ferraris on the front row, and now in the top 4 we've seen 2 Alpha Tauris, and the 2 closest cars that together are both the Aston Martins, who got past Quivlex on that lap. So like, who's going to be the winning constructor?
Yeah, this is a really interesting start to the season. I think it shows pretty much all of our predictions are kind of pointless here, as we see these 2 AlphaTauris, who I did actually call out in one of the pre-race practices, a strong-looking team of newcomers. Tadpole, very, very rapid. Quarterback, I raced with a fair amount, and yeah, he's rapid as well. So we'll have to see how this works. I think Quivlex actually
racing with Alex. I'm gonna go on to that.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do a move down the inside. All that looked inches from disaster there, but Alex is going to get through safely. Yeah, wow. It's a good showing. This is a reserve driver currently. So obviously, unfortunately, one of our drivers couldn't make it today. We've got a full grid of 20 drivers in the league. But if you do want to sign up and join, you do some racing with us, when you see you're okay, you can become one of the reserve drivers, and then if anything happens, like someone missing out, potentially you can jump in and join us. So Good to see a strong performance from the reserve. But it is a strong performance, but he has definitely given this leading pack a little bit of a breathing room. But now that cork is released from the bottle, I can already see Bakes is rapidly gaining on the back of this train. And this might soon become a 5-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, as you were mentioning earlier about people joining, anyone is absolutely welcome to join the Discord. We're getting so much interest that we're looking at opening up a second division. So any more that we do get is just going to enforce that. So yeah, please do get involved. Please do join the action. We'd love to have you. But yeah, for now, let's enjoy this race as we're about to see Rob in a battle with Josh Wilmot down into turn 1. Both of them aided with the DRS. There is an ultimate drag race, turn 1. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? It looks like Rob at the minute, who's gone a little bit deep into turn 2, and Josh looks like he has got that covered.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic battling going on up and down the grid. I did Tadpole keeping that lead, and yeah, as you say, these mid pack battles are starting to kick off. I'm wondering about strategy now. I'm starting to see Moon on 8-lap-old softs. He's going to surely be looking to get off those pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, I'm more concerned. I want to see Mark Bakesauce manage to get onto the back of this pack. I want to see him come up and join this battle. I don't know how much room there is at the top, but it looks like it's getting pretty close up there. Cool. As we see Tadpole, is going to have to be defending from this one down onto the main straight. Cool. Just watching the times here as we're stuck on board with Brian. He's doing a fantastic job keeping onto the back of Jinnit. We'll have to see if he can make it through onto this main straight. I'm just keeping an eye on those times at the top. Half a second from Hegel is not going to be enough to make a jump on this lap, but doing what he can for the moment. And Logan now starting to drop off a little bit. The important thing is all 4 of these guys have DRS. So they are keeping in time with each other. But it's watching that lap from Bakesauce, watching that time from Bakesauce, seeing if he comes in, see if he can gain on those guys. As we see another 5-second penalty coming out, speeding in the pit lane. It's going to be really tricky. Those ones, unfortunately, are slam dunked. You can't remove those. So that is going to be sad for him. But hopefully there's other penalties. It'd be such a shame now with Tadpole leading. To lose that lead on a penalty would be such a shame. But we'll have to see how it goes. Sorry, I think we're just having a little issue at the moment with you shortly. But yeah, as we've got a yellow flag sector 2, I think Brian actually had a bit of a moment there. And it is getting back onto the track now as we see down with the McLaren in P10. Just kind of pumping in those laps. Love to get back onto the leading pack when we can, just to see how these battles are doing. But at the moment, just seeing the AlphaTauri coming through. Here we go. Yeah, so Tadpole sets the fastest lap. Needs Hegel to pick up the pace a little bit. I'm just noticing all of the action is settling down just a tad. But maybe drivers now starting to just find some pace, find some rhythm, and just save themselves for later on in the race. Because I think, as we said, this is the first time where points are on the line, and the nerves usually kick in around this time of lap. I think you have a big spike at the start of the race of nerves, and then as it comes to the middle, you kind of settle down a bit, chill out, try and find that rhythm, which I think is where we are now as we approach the first set of pit stops. And then obviously towards the end, there's going to be another huge spike in nerves. But we'll have to see who can handle that the best. I mean, you would think it would be Hagelfar and Watt at the moment who would, the slightly more experienced drivers who would be able to handle that. But at the same time, Tadpole now, he's the time trial king. He's the hot lapper. He does hot laps again and again and again. And you've got to feel like now he's in the lead, he's just going to be able to keep that lead nice and comfortable. And just run away with it, really. As we see, I'm just looking.
I'm interested and curious how much battery is on each car as well.
Oh, I can. Can
you give me that information?
Let me give you a little deep dive for you there.
Because that is surely going to be king in this race of who's got the most battery left going down that straight into turn 1.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was Tadpole, I'd hopefully be storing as much as possible for a defence.
Well, so he's got Tadpole sitting on about 30% battery. Not a super high amount. Does look like Hegelfire also going to be on about 33%. Interestingly, in third place, 68% battery. So
that
much more in reserve at the moment. I really do think Logan is getting his head down here and playing that long game. And as we see, Quarterback has dropped off this pack, unfortunately, not really being able to match the pace at the moment. But yeah, it's looking spicy at the front. But Logan, it was a very good call actually, Liam, because Logan with a lot more battery than these leaders. If he can be patient with it, if he can just hold on to that to the end of the race, he could really use that to make a big difference, as we saw in some of the other races previous, where that did make a massive difference. Seeing as we come up to the top now, I do think Logan is closer to Hegel than we've seen before. I'd love to jump on board with those and just have a little check, because I think this could be an opportunity for Logan to maybe get a little bit of a run on Hegel here, because Hegel had a bit of a wobble in this section before. Oh, as we see Tadpole taking his pit lane, and now the really important thing is here, does he have to stop for this penalty? Will this be a penalty that he can serve in the pits, or will this be one that we can be discussed after the race? He comes in now. They are going to serve the penalty now.
Yep.
Oh, well, hopefully that's not an undeserved penalty, because that is a long time to wait. Actually swapping onto the hard tyre. So we're going to be swapping onto the hards now. Very important lap for him to keep this going. As we see, actually at the front, big battle now. He's not going to be able to get past this time. And this sector, as we say, is a tricky one to follow. I think, unfortunately, that penalty is going to kind of remove him from this battle Tadpole for the moment, which is a shame.
A little wiggle there from Logan coming out of turn 7, I believe. We had a qualifier here at Bahrain, and I just wanted to ask the question, like, Logan did spin and crash. How much do you think that's weighing in on his mind?
I genuinely think he's probably got that mostly out of his mind now. I think that's been... he knows he spins a lot, but I think he's been relatively fine over the past couple of days when he's been practicing. And I think he just knows what he needs to do now. He just knows he needs to get his head down. But speaking of getting the head down as well, I mean, it's probably worth hanging on to Logan in case they can do something here. But I noticed now Bakes already half a second gap between him and Quarterback. So he has absolutely demolished that gap and will be right on the back of these guys if he can keep his pace up. What's he going to do? Hegel's going to stay out. Logan deciding to come in and pit. Make sure he slows down for the pit lane. He does. That was always my least favourite part of any race, slowing down for that pit lane. But so see if he's going to go onto the hards as well. It does appear to be that's the strategy. Has Legion also going to be passed now? So these guys are heading up through. Oh, Crivolet's getting that 5-second penalty, just as I was saying. An absolute nightmare to keep track of. So I think all eyes now for the moment on Hegel. This lap has got to be absolutely perfect. He needs to try and get an advantage here. These new tyres, these big tyres that take a long time to cool down, are going to be really important to nail. Seeing Jinnit actually making his way all the way through the field as well, which is pretty fantastic. After the set of pit stops,
there's
really
been I was going to say there's a lot of talk about overcut and undercut and which one is the better one to go for. We've seen Tadpole come in early, getting those hards on, but they're going to take a few laps to get up to speed. So not only have we got that 5-second penalty to cater for, surely he's got a loss of time, a deficit of time that he's going to have to make up when Thomas Hunter or Logan comes out of the pits.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Tadpole from here. I do think he's going to need to put in some absolutely cracking times to get through, and also he's going to need to hope that Logan and Hegel fight as much as they can. I do wonder if Hegel surely has to pit now, right? And onto the hards. He's not going to be trying to mix up the strategy, go a bit later onto the softs.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? If you could take those mediums as far as you can, and you know how long those softs are going to last. And the hards, by the way, I've done some running on them. They are really slow. They've not got a lot of grip at all, and he's in free air. He's got no extra. He's got no extra wear that's going to go on those tyres. So he's not racing anyone apart from his own lap time and his own speed. He's got no dirty air. He could even wait for a safety car if he wanted to. Think of that gap that he's going to gain if there's a safety car and he has a free pit stop and he can go onto the softs.
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is so brave to do such a different strategy from seemingly everyone else on the field in the opening race. But yeah, it does appear that he is going to go long. I don't know if you have any idea how long he needs to go, because it feels like it's going to be quite a long way. But I guess interestingly, Jinnit just set the fastest lap on 13 lap old mediums, so that would suggest that they have a bit of life in them. And that they're still competitive, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I'll try and keep an eye on that gap between Logan and Hegel, and we'll see if they can get anything done there.
Interestingly, as well, Hegel Fireplace has been able to pull a gap on Mark Baker in this string alone, so it just looks like the Aston Martins do not have the pace of the McLarens today.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think do keep an eye out for them going forward, because they will definitely be involved in the league fight. But yeah, I think. No, so we do see Hegel jump into the pits now, and is he going to get it slowed down in time? That looked just about. So if we jump onto Hegel, let's see if he can come out of here ahead of Logan, or if Logan's going to jump him. I think I got it about a 27-second gap. Which feels quite long. Feels like Logan should be okay there.
He's put on the hard tyres, so he will be on the hards to the end.
Logan looks like he's in a bit of traffic here. There's a lot of cars coming down this main straight right now, waiting for Hegel. So Logan actually going to have a little bit of DRS and drag right through, but it looks like he's come clear out from Hegel. Oh no, sorry, he hasn't at all. Logan's miles back. So now this is the lap that it's all going to matter. Logan needs to get with these warmer hards, I guess. I don't know how warm they're going to be. But with these fresher tyres, these warm tyres, he needs to chase down Hegel. Needs to make sure he gets within a second for the next main straight. Otherwise, Hegel is going to have a massive advantage. But look at that
cold tyres, Venus has got ahead of Hegel. Hegel, I can't even say his name right now. Hegel Fireplace.
Oh, and Logan already right
he's right on the back of him.
Tyres are absolutely freezing right now. Logan's going to make a nice, easy move down the inside. And that is the problem with these tyres.
Oh, we've had a Red Bull spin.
Oh,
and he's out of the race.
Oh, was that a DNF? Was that a big crash?
That was a DNF. That was a crash between Hegel Fireplace and Brian.
Absolute nightmare for Brian. That's what a shame for him. 14 laps on those hards and he's out. But yeah, Hegel really, really struggling with these hards. And Logan actually is in danger of just getting away from with the little slipstream that he's got from Venus. He's going to be able to get that gap to a second, surely. Yeah, he already has 1.5 seconds. So fantastic strategy from Logan there, getting the undercut done to perfection. Surely got to be the favourites for this race now. Tadpole has actually done some damage there. He's about 3.8 seconds behind. But Logan is surely now in the seat to get his first win of the season at Bahrain.
I mean, this is all paying to what I said earlier with the colder tyres. It might be that you gain that time that you thought he was clear coming out of the pits, but all in a matter of like 4 corners, that 3-second gap, and there's an overtake. So it clearly made the jump on Hegel Fireplace in the pits.
Yeah, Sniper and Quarterback actually fighting quite aggressively now. Sniper has managed to get the move done, so be looking to see him push back up through the grid and see where he can end up. Logan leading of the guys yet to pit, the guys who have pitted, and these front guys now are all going to be swapping onto the softs to see if they can do some damage towards the end of the race.
One of the cars we've seen just go onto the softs is Venus, who's come out in 13. They've just been overtaken by Harrison, I presume because of the cold tyres, but I believe he's the first car we're going to be seeing going onto those tyres. Yeah, he is, so it'll be interesting to see what deficit he can make.
Really important to watch his times now and see just how much of a difference that can make. It does feel like quite an early stop for the soft tyres though.
Yeah, 12 laps, that's a long time to go on them.
Yeah, bearing in mind that we saw Hegel looking like he was struggling a little bit with 13 laps on the mediums. So I think really going to be a long race for Venus unless he's looking to maybe predict a safety car later in the race. And we do see Watt coming out with the fastest lap of the race, 31.9, which is not what you want to see if you're Hegel, who's dropped 2 seconds back now. So he really needs to get something together. Otherwise, he's going to not only be in danger of not winning this race, but he's going to be in danger of losing Tadpole, who I think is lapping a little bit faster than him at the moment. But Venus now making these soft tyres work, jumping on the back of Harrison. He's flying by miles before we get to the first corner. Absolutely easy. So I wonder, those were fresh hards from Harrison. Well, 9-lap-old hards versus 1-lap softs, and Venus going to be on the charge.
Where would you expect to... So he's probably taken a bit of time out of his ultimate race time to go onto this strategy. How much time do you think he can make back? Where do you think he can finish in this race on those soft tyres?
I think it's going to drop off towards a lot at the end, unfortunately. I think this has been a little bit too early. I think he's got a 5-second gap. I think if he can get in the points, that'd be great if he can finish in the points. But I think that could be quite a big ask. I think looking at that battle for the points, I think our closest battle on track right now is Sniper and Quarterback, who are actually approaching the back of Brian 2K on 17-lap-old hards. So very similar to what we saw before. These guys are in their own battle. They're going to be trying to win their own race, but Brian is going to be a bit of a slow roadblock in front of them, who's clearly trying to go through to the end and then do a quick stint on the soft. But I just don't know if that's the play here.
But he doesn't need to, remember, as well, because Brian pitted under the safety car. He could run those hards all the way to the end of this race.
He could, but he's already at such a pace deficit to these guys. I think it's not gonna pay off for him from the looks of it. It's absolutely easy for Sniper to breeze past him on the main straight there. Quarterback also going to come with him. Nothing doing here, but I think this next stage will be interesting as Venus does set the fastest lap of the race on those soft tyres. So clearly working well for him. But this is going to be the move from Quarterback. He's nice and tight to him. Are they both going to get the RS? No, it's just Quarterback. But you have to be a big lunge from here. He is going to think against it and just tuck in now for this next sector, which is obviously a little bit tight, a little bit hard to overtake. But good to see, again, some new guys battling with the old guard here. And if you're Alex, you've got to be praying for a safety car now, right? That's it. 18 laps on these mediums.
They must be screaming for a pit stop. But I mean, how long is a net pit stop? Is it 24 seconds, 25 seconds? Where would he come out if he was to pit right now?
Well, I think Hegel was around 27 seconds ahead of Logan when he pit, and he came out still ahead by a couple of seconds. So, but obviously, what we're saying about these the slow tires when you come back out. That's really going to be where you suffer. I think George Russell is going to the pits now, so we'll see. I think he's probably going to go onto the soft. 9 laps on the soft, yeah, that's probably a bit more manageable. But yeah, impressive stint for these guys up front who are still staying out. 19 laps on these mediums. Could be an interesting end to the race here. If we get any sort of safety car, this is going to really throw a spanner in the works.
Absolutely, because you don't want to be on those hards as well on a safety car, so you'd assume that all those hard tyre runners are going to pit as well. So we could actually end up seeing an Aston Martin and a McLaren, not in the form of Hegel Fire Plays, in the form of Jinnit, who starts at the back of the grid, leading this race.
Yeah, Jinnit is at one with the strategy. He kind of just becomes the strategy. Whatever he decides kind of falls into place and becomes marvelous. So I would expect to see something a bit bizarre from him. Interesting to see him and Alex both obviously deciding on the same strategy here. Not something that Mark did. So splitting the strategies there at Aston Martin. But George Russell, I just noticed Josh coming out ahead of these guys on the softs. Looks like he's going to be in a great position to get some solid points today. And with 7 second gap to Bakesworth, potentially could get on the back of him there and do a bit of an upset. But yeah, I think it doesn't seem like Hegel's got any answer to Logan's pace right now either. It seems like that 2.7 seconds been sitting there for most of this race and not really answering. Yeah, not really having anything to say as we come back onto the main strap. I'm just noticing Quibblet.
I was going to say the closest battle is the one we are watching between Sniper, Quarterback, and importantly, do you see Josh came out ahead of this battle on those softs? Yeah. So we can only assume that he's going to pull away, and he's only 6 seconds behind Mark Baker. Could we see a surprise comeback from the Mercedes? Just get a top 5 finish?
if we jump back to Quivlex, actually, he's actually making a big move. Oh, actually, on Brian on the 20 lap old hards. I don't think Brian's played this well at all. I think he's going to really, really suffer in this race. He's got an Alpine behind him now on fresh softs. I think this is going to, yeah, he's just going to be going backwards from now.
It's a pretty sad end to your Sunday when you see those hard tyres go on. You know you're going towards near the end of the race on the slowest tyre. 20-odd lap, 25 laps, I think. When did he put them on? No, it must have been lap 1. He must be going...
He's
really
on 20 laps, yeah.
20 laps at the moment. Maybe I would agree with you. He's not in the points. Maybe take a...
Oh, spin from quarterback, sorry, just ahead, just up the road. That's going to be all that hard work that he's done to get past these guys, entirely undone. Now he's got to find all his way through the very slow line and the not so slow Quivlex, who's would be fantastic for him if he can score points as a reserve driver in this opening race. Yeah, great performance, really.
What a great debut that would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst his teammate is currently down in 12th, those soft tyres seem to be serving him well. He's right on the back of that spin from quarterback.
Oh, he's actually going to be making a move, surely, on the next couple of corners here. He's going to have so much more speed, especially if quarterback's just had a bit of a spin. These tyres tend to really punish you when you do the spins. I just noticing Ginett is for now made his pit stop onto the softs. Be really interesting to see what he can do from there. It's George Russell, fastest lap, 31.5, coming through. So here we go. Venus on the back of quarterback. He's going to make that nice and easy. And you've got to say, I'm just looking, sorry, Ginett is coming out 5 seconds behind Mark on fresh softs with this amount of race to go. He's surely going to be up there. It's a beautiful lunge from Tadpole, actually, from quarterback, trying to get that move back. But isn't going to work. Bit pointless at the moment when Venus is just basically running a different race to you.
Yeah, like you say, point out as well, I think Brian must have the stream on. He was listening to us and he has come into the pits and put on the soft. He was sick of those hards. He could not be on them for any longer. But yeah, so he's now in 15th. But yeah, Ginett is now in 6th on brand new softs. All the cars, the next 4 cars ahead of him are on hard tyres.
I mean, he's just got to absolutely gun it now. I think Logan is probably a little bit too far away. But everyone out, wow, I don't know. There's not that much in it. Alex still praying for a safety
He's in the
car.
pit. He's in the pits.
Oh, no, he's in the pits now, finally. I was going to say, that's getting a bit ridiculous.
Let's see where he comes out.
Oh, he's going to drop quite far back, I think, probably P7-ish.
Before they came into the pits, he was right on the back of Mark Baker's tail. So this will be interesting to see.
Surely. Oh, Mark's on the hards though. Oh, wow. This is going to be...
But he was in front of Ginett.
Yeah. So Mark is going to come out just ahead. Oh, Mark is going to stay ahead. But surely now, Alex, with these fresh softs, is going to be really looking to make a dent in this. You've got to say, what's that, like a 15 seconds for the top 5? I mean, it's doable. It's going to be hard. He's going to need to set quite a few quali laps in a row to get this done. But
what's also going to need to happen to make this strategy successful, which we said it's round 1, we're not going to hear any of team orders, but is he going to race his teammate to get past, or is he just going to let him pass?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Mark has to give that.
He's got to give that. The deficit. I think there's like 3 seconds delta difference between the softs and the hards.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that when they get close. But Venus, the first one to make the jump onto the softs, now finds himself on the back of Quivlex, and he's going to surely ask his replacement teammate to just move aside for the moment and let him through, but doesn't actually manage to do so. Just squeezes through on his own. But yeah, so I think Ginett on the back of Alex, about 1.5 seconds. Who's on the back of his own teammate by another couple seconds. It's quite big gaps, to be honest, at the turn. I thought it would be a little bit closer than this, but everyone's a little bit spread out right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the minute, the biggest winners and losers from this race. Ginett, we've just set in the fastest lap, but we've got Ginett and Alex. Well, Alex is up 4, and Ginett's up 13 positions.
Yeah,
in this race.
Pretty ridiculous. And he's just surely going to be trying to get on the back of Alex as soon as he can. But I think that might be quite tricky. I'm trying to just seeing what's happening with Sniper, because he's on the back of George Russell on fresh softs, but he does seem to be gaining on him, which is pretty impressive. I'm noticing that the gap's dropping down to like half a second. If Sniper can get past Josh on a 10 lap old hards versus 4 lap old softs, either that means that Josh is not driving super great, or those tyres are already starting to fall off after about 4 laps, which would be an absolute disaster.
Well, if it's a disaster after 4, we've got Venus who's on them for 7, and he doesn't look like he's making any more headway into Sniper's lead. So surely we can expect him to finish no higher than 9th.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. This is quite the little story going on with Qualifiers coming into Alpine for the first time, taking up the seat, and now it looks like he's going to be fighting Venus for these points. So, I mean, if I was Venus, I would be kind of politely saying, please stay behind me, because I'm the only one that's taking these points forward. But I mean, I don't know if Qualifiers is going to want to do that, as we do see Alex. Yes, that's the fastest lap. He does make it past his teammate. Surely Mark's just going to let this one go. Yeah, he does so. Not going to be super happy about that one, Mark, I'm sure. But now 3.8 seconds. We've only got a few laps to go here. I don't know if Legion's going to be able to get on the back of Tadpole. I mean, that is a huge deficit in tyre difference there. 2 lap softs and 12 lap hards. So, I mean, there is the potential.
Watching that timer come down as well, it's basically tenths a corner. Okay. I believe it can happen. I believe we can see Alex stop on this podium. This race is not over yet.
Fantastic if we can see Alex get onto this podium. I noticed that Quivlex dropped down to 11th now, which is quite interesting. But I guess for the moment we're keeping an eye on this Legion. Yeah, he's gained that's pretty much a second in this first part of the lap. That is the kind of pace he's going to need to be doing though if he wants to get onto the back of Tadpole. But I do think when he gets onto the back of Tadpole, that is going to be quite an easy overtake, you would have thought. As these are just so fresh, these tyres. But yeah, he needs to get a move on though, as we're coming on to the 26th lap out of 29. So I think Legion podium probably pretty likely at the moment, which is not something we would have said at the start of the race.
No, absolutely not. He, I believe, started 8th, definitely the tail end of the top 10, and he's just set another fastest lap as well. So he had the pace, whether he just couldn't put those sectors together for a good qualifying lap. But the strategy has paid him off hugely.
Yeah, definitely. I think it already feels like it's starting to wear off slightly, though. If we jump on board with him, I think he's actually losing. He's got about 22% ERS. I think that's I know that's your favourite thing to have a look at. Should we do another little check-in?
Yeah, let's have a check-in. Top 10, I'd like to know.
Top 10. So you got Logan, he's sitting on 16. Hegel, he's sitting on 14. So Logan has really made the most of that ERS, because he's paid him back now. Tadpole down on 16. Alex 29. So he's got a lot more in the tank left to go, and you would have thought he'd be using all of that now to get onto the back of Tadpole. Mark, he's sitting on about 30, so he's got a lot to use. I don't know if he knows how much more that is than some of the people around him. Jinnit, he's only on 6%, so he's really used pretty much everything he's got available. George is on 5, and then we've got Sniper, who's on about 20 for the moment. I think that's kind of all the relevant ones here, but Sniper is actually looking like he's going to be close enough to make a move on George Russell. This is an absolutely stellar drive from Sniper right now, because he is on our very old hard tyres versus the fresh in inverted commas tyres of George Russell on the soft 6 laps old. Does look like they're starting to wear off a little bit now, but this would be a hell of a move if he can get it done. Is he going to get a better exit? It looks pretty clean from both of them there, but DRS and that ERS available, is he going to be using it? He's actually not using it for the moment. Saving his ERS on the main straight, just using that DRS, maybe looking for a move on the second straight that comes up. And so he's going to try and just needs to get a solid exit through here. Does look like George went a little bit deep there. Oh, big moment there though. No, he's going to lose that. He's going to lose all of his momentum, puts the ERS on to try and claim some of that back. But you do feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity there for Sniper, who's as I say, doing a fantastic job to keep on the back of George Russell.
Josh cleverly as well, not defending thin air. He knew he's not going to make any moves. He knew Sniper wasn't going to throw it up the inside, and they'd both lose time if he tried to do that. So very great experience driving from these two. These are probably some of the oldest drivers that we've had in our league. So great to see them putting on a show today.
Yeah,
as we see Alex, sorry, just interrupt.
Yeah, no,
just over a second on Tadpole at the minute. One of the drivers we thought tipped to win is currently maybe losing his podium position.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really hard for Tadpole to keep Alex behind him if he does get in that second. Because I mean, the pace difference is going to be absolutely huge. And Alex is a great driver in his own right anyway. So I think definitely to watch there. And I think a similar story happening with Bakes and Jinnit as well, who is right on the back of Mark now with 1.2 seconds. So look for a little bit of changing positions, but there's only 2 laps to go here. Logan, I have to say, doing a fantastic job out front, keeping it cool, keeping it calm, no spins as of yet, and looking to really secure that win. As we see Venus actually getting the move done, trying to get into
he's lost the place.
He's lost a place there, actually. I don't know if he's going into the pits. Yeah, he is. I think he's got damage. So Venus maybe has damage, or maybe just getting rid of those 10-lap-old tyres. But he has he's definitely lost out there. So that's a shame. That's not how he wants that to end. As I'm just waiting for that Alex gap to get under a second. It's tantalizingly close. You would have thought that by the end of this sector, he's going to be within DRS range, and that's when I think might be a game over for Tadpole's chance of a podium.
Yes, we have one of the Aston Martins being the hunter and the other being the hunted. We saw as well Venus's soft tyres, I believe, were going off. No, it was Josh Wilmot's tyres going off after about lap 4 or lap 5, and that is the mark we're currently on with Alex. He seems to have perfectly timed this strategy to get onto those tyres so that they're at the optimum throughout the rest of this race, and he's now under a second from Tadpole going into this home straight.
Yeah, this is where it all comes down to this exit. Who's going to get the cleaner exit? Tadpole has a bit more ERS to use, but it's just going to be when they actually use it. This is going to be the first real experience of the pressure coming on now, and it looks like, here we go, Tadpole seeing going to the side, trying to break the slow there. I don't know if Alex has done it. I don't know if he's got enough time. It's going to be super, super tight here. Gets it down to half a second, heavy into the braking zone. Needs to just keep it clean. It's not going to be... It's going to have to be on the final main straight. As we see, there's moves going on all over the place. Sniper actually managing to battling with George Russell here. Yellow flags. Oh, I think that's Moon is out in one of the other sectors. Hopefully that won't be a safety car. No, he's got going again. But yeah, I think if George and Sniper having a fierce battle here. I think making a lunge down the inside. Oh, there's a big crash. There's a huge crash. If we have a look at George and Sniper, there was an absolutely enormous incident there. Hopefully they're going to both get out of that okay.
Sorry, I don't want to come away from the action here. So we've got Alex right on the back of Tadpole going into the back straight. With DRS, he is almost pushing him out of the corner. What was interesting about this is Tadpole was only asking the questions earlier in the week, how good is Alex stop? Well, we're about to find out in this Sector 3 of this last lap.
Yeah, I think this is just close enough. I think Logan is going to be taking this one unless he does anything mad in the final sector. But now Alex needs to get a solid run through here. Oh, I think Tadpole did get a pretty nice run here. This is going to be neck and neck for the line. Great stuff from Logan to win the place. Great stuff from Hegel to get P2. Who is going to be joining them on that final stop? That's a great defensive move there from Tadpole. And actually, I don't think Alex has got a good enough exit to come through here. It is going to be a drag race to the line, but I don't think there's any ERS available for Alex. And Tadpole is going to secure his first podium of the season in his first race, in his first appearance. Gets that P3. Absolutely fantastic drive from all of our drivers here, but it is going to be a Hegelfire Tadpole podium. To say it looked like that early on, but it did not play out how we thought it would, I think, to get that. So fantastic job from Logan, keeping calm under pressure. Didn't spin, gets the win. That's all I've been saying to him the whole time. That's all he needed. Great stuff from Hegel. Disappointing. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that, but he shouldn't be. It was an absolutely solid job. Alex, massive recovery drive there to come in P4 and P5 for Marg, meaning Aston getting some solid points there. Jinnit, again, great drive. Couldn't quite get the move on Bakes, but he'll be happy with that as well from starting from the back. And then Sniper, George, Russell, Josh, and Harrison. And Quivlex ending up the top 10. So Venus obviously having a nightmare there. But Quivlex managing to score a point for his team that he's just stepping in for in his first race. So that's just what you love to see. That's great news for Alpine.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I think that's class there. I think for me, I'd say probably driver of the day, maybe Jinnit. I think that was a fantastic run.
Incredible drive,
it's what we wanted to see. what we want to see really coming from the back from Jin at the masterclass. But I gotta say, a little bit of personal bias. I'm very happy for Logan to get that.
He absolutely deserved that.
I want to see him come through the good. There you go. See, I got the driver of the day prediction right. Yeah, no, fantastic stuff from him. Great clean racing from all of them going forward. So yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a weird race, that one. There's a lot going on.
I mean, a testament to Logan's driving, really. We didn't really see much of him, which is a good thing, because there was no drama. He just put it where it needed to be. And once he got that lead, he was unchallenged for the rest of the race.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is what we've been trying to get. It's what he knows he needs to be doing. We know he's got the pace. He's an absolutely rapid driver, definitely one of the fastest on the grid. But just that consistency not working out. But with Alex in P4, that is a serious amount of points to get for himself and for Aston Martin. So, as he said in the pre-race, it's about just making sure he's there, getting those points as we're going forward. So, it won't be the end of the world for him. Hegel as well, showing that he can be fighting for this in this season. Definitely these top three are the ones to watch. I'd say these top four, any of these guys could get the championship pretty easily. But yeah, I think fantastic race overall. Love to see if we can grab a little chat with Logan. I'd love to.
We're going to bring them into the voice comms now.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask them to quiet because I'd like to do the little podium with them. But yeah, we'll drag them in.
Oh, we're getting all of the podium sitters in. Oh, okay.
Podium sitters in.
Wow, fantastic race, guys. With me in the commentary box now, we have Tadpole, Logan, and Higgle, our top three. Guys, thanks for a fantastic performance there. Absolutely smashing race. I guess we'll start with you, Tadpole. That's got to be a sweaty end to the race, right? For you, that did not look very fun having Alex chase you down there. Did you think he was going to get you at the end, or did you think you had it in the bag?
Yeah, it was. My heart was racing throughout that. But like after I was saying to myself, if he doesn't get me in the first straight, I think I may be fine. But then it grew down to like a 2/10 through like the whole of the second section. I was very scary, but yeah.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to get you for a point, but I think you just got a little bit lucky with the softs wearing off there. But great racing. And I think we'll probably be hearing a lot from you three as we go forward. Hegel, great result, fantastic result, great quali. Are you a little disappointed you didn't get the win, or do you think Logan just had the pace today?
Yeah, I want to say really congrats to Logan because that was a fantastic performance. He was just first of all, I'm never going for an overcut again. That just doesn't work apparently. No, he absolutely nailed it. His race pace was he was just quicker, and it was brilliant. It was a bit sketchy in parts throughout the race, obviously with the safety car, but it was fantastic to drive with. It was unreal. I really enjoyed it. Slightly disappointed, but obviously you would be. But apart from that, yeah, it was brilliant.
So yeah, the undercut not working out there, which is a bit of a shame. I wondered if you were going to go onto the softs potentially, but yeah, not working out there. And Logan, our race winner, my dear friend and old teammate, you did it. You didn't spin and you won the race. How are you feeling?
Oh, relieved, to be honest. Ecstatic and relieved. That was. I know the gap at the end was 5 seconds, but that was much harder than it looked. I'm a sweaty mess at the moment. I would like to apologise to Hegel for near the start of the race. I think I hit you in turn 1 quite early doors, but it looked like it didn't impede you too much, hopefully. But yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, great stuff, man. Going forward, it's easy now, right? You just got to do that every week, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a spinniest track, so hopefully it's fine from here on.
No, great stuff. Yeah, absolutely fantastic racing from all three of you. Be looking forward to seeing you guys next week, see how you can do. Aston Martin nipping at all of your tails in the background there with Alex and Mark. So I think it was quite a competitive race overall. But yeah, I think going into the next week, Logan, are you planning on picking up the next win?
What is the next track? Remind me.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Oh, it's got to be a win. It's got to be. Although Bakes is really quick at Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, that'll be one to watch.
Nice one. Well, thank you so much, guys. I think we're going to have a little chat with our driver of the day.
Driver of the day. We'll do a driver of the day interview because we didn't have this planned, but I think Junit would really like to talk about his soar through the field. But yeah, congratulations to our podium.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Cool. And let's try and get Ginit on in here. Ginit, what a race. What a fantastic drive. What a driver of the day. Did you have that one planned in the back of your head? Did you know how that was going to fall out? Because that was a stunning drive from the back.
Well, no, I had VR issues at the start, like the start of qualifying, so I spent the first 12 to 15 minutes sorting that out. So pretty much my qualifying was one shot, and then I whiffed my qualifying lap. So.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Oh, we thought it was gonna be like last season where you were doing like just really different strategies.
No, that was qualifying was on me, but then I had to get off the hard straight away. It just made sense just to get straight off those hards.
Yeah.
Just the mediums, because I knew the mediums from like that 3 or 4 onwards would go towards a soft stint at the end.
Oh, so you started on did you start on the hards, then went to mediums, then ended on softs?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, that's pretty. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I caught that. I thought that was just a really, really long stint on the mediums. But no, okay, that's insane. Then I think did they start to fall off at the end there, or was Mark just a bit too far away?
No, just the combination of no ERS and the tyres just falling off.
Yeah.
I had no chance of getting it. I got there towards the end of like the race, but I wouldn't have had the pulling power to get past him even with DRS.
Right. Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, hopefully. Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, what kind of setup were you running for that race? Were you planning on carving through the field? Were you did you struggle because you were running like higher aero setup?
I'll be honest, I just used time trial setups. Whoever the top esports guy is, I just nick that and just fiddle with the pressures. And
no, you can't tell us that. Shh, we need your secret. tell us something special for the camera.
Well,
tell us you made it. You crafted it. You crafted it yourself. Yeah, you didn't hear that, guys. He put loads of hard work into
serious hours.
Yeah. Well, nice. Well, hopefully next week, if you don't have any qualifying issues, we can see you a little bit further up. You must be thinking if you'd have had a better quali, you could have been right up there for the win. So yeah,
it would have been nice to see.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, man. Good luck next week in the desert. But yeah, I think Liam, not the race we were expecting. Podium was pretty, I think, telling of what we're going to see going forward. But I guess after seeing that, have you got any predictions for next week?
One prediction I do have is I'm not going to be here.
Of course.
So I will sub me out for hopefully someone who is as successful as Cuvelix in their debut. But one thing I'm expecting to see is a lot of overtakes. As we saw in the real F1, the DRS with 3 DRS straights is going to be huge. It's such a high-speed track. I think we're going to see some really risky setups of like how low can you drop that slider of your aero, because top speed is going to be king. But yeah, we saw Logan take the lead this time last season at this point in Bahrain by taking the win here. I'm not too sure how confident we are on seeing that last any longer. It's going to be a lot of carnage and a lot of drama from here on in. So,
yeah, I think Mark will definitely be the one to watch next week. He is absolutely rapid around that track. He loves it. So I think I don't think we'll be seeing the same podium, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, this has been a lot of fun. I think this is a great to start the season off. Strong performance from Aston Martin in the constructors, and great to see Logan and Ferrari taking that early lead in the championship. We'll be back. Well, I'll be back the same time next week because I'm dedicated to my job. I love it. You're off swanning around.
You're getting paid as well, remember?
That's fine. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting paid. But we'll be back. Same time next week with Jeddah, and we'll see you guys then.
See you guys then. And I just wanted to put in a little quick note as well. We have had a lot of help to bring this production to you guys for this race, and I'm not too sure I mentioned it earlier, so I wanted to do it now at the end. There's a lot of help from myself, from Will, from Steve, from Race Control, and from a guy called Larinio, who helped put together some of the graphics and going forward as well. So I just wanted to pay credits to anyone involved in bringing this production to you, because it's not just us on the screen or the drivers. We're now branching out into an audience and creating a platform for you guys to race on that is good to watch and race in. So
yeah, Laurinio, you've done such an amazing job
so
with the
thank you
graphics.
thank you for everyone who's involved, and we're planning on getting this better and better and better as each week goes. So please stay in tune, see how we develop and how we grow. Get involved in the Discord, get involved in our streaming platforms. This is going to go on YouTube as well. But yeah, we'll be here next week, regulars every Sunday, and we can't wait for the next one. So thank you for tuning in.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.